Hi, I'm Dave from Rustic Cannirondack, and I'm going to show you how to assemble the Cannirondack chair. When you get it, this is what you're going to find in the box. The tools you're going to need are going to be a T20 Torx head, and you can use it in a screwdriver or in a drill. If you use it in a drill, be very careful and go very slow. You also will need a 1/2 inch wrench and a 1/2 inch socket. You'll find a package of screws and a package of bolts. You're going to find a left and a right chair seat frame, a left and a right armrest, and a left and a right legs, seat slats, and a rear seat slat, and a lower front apron that says Cannirondack or will have whatever you requested to be inscribed on it. You'll also find a backrest that's already put together. And we're going to start by putting the legs together first. So we're going to start by putting the front right leg together, and there are 2 pieces to each leg. But I'm going to also let you know that the entire chair has been pre-assembled and then taken apart for shipping. Um, the holes for the screws have been pre-drilled already. So it's important to know that when you put the pieces together, the screws need to line up with the holes and go in the existing holes. There will be no need for any drilling of any new holes. So these 2 pieces have orientation labels on the back along with names identifying each piece. And so they'll tell you which direction they go. For the legs, you're going to take the wider leg and you're going to place the thinner leg on the side and line up the holes that are already made. And after you do that, you're going to insert the smaller screws, the 8 by 1 1/4 inch flathead screws, into these outside holes right here to assemble this leg together. And you'll repeat the same process on the other leg. So the next thing we're going to do is we're going to put the seat slats onto the seat frame. And so you're just going to stand these up on end, put them about 22 inches apart. And we're going to start with the rear seat slat. And this is the rear seat slat. We're going to go ahead and line it up with the marks that are already made onto the seat frames. And like I said before, you're going to use the pre-drilled holes to go ahead and screw these into. There's marks on both sides, so you know pretty much exactly where to put the slats before you screw them in. As you're screwing them in, you want to make sure that there's no resistance in the screw and that it feels like it's going into the hole that it's supposed to be going into. And you'll know if it seems kind of hard to put the screw in. We're going to start with the rear seat slat, and then we're going to go ahead and go with number 5, which is down here. We're skipping number 6. We're not going to actually put that one in yet, and you'll know why later. So we're going to go ahead and do number 5. Then we're going to go to number 4. And then we're going to go do number 3. And again, these are all labeled. So the sticker is on the right side, knowing that it goes on the right side. And it's pretty easy to figure out. So we've got those slats that we're going to put on, and we're going to leave the rest off for now. And they'll be put on later on. So I'm going to go ahead and put this together really quick, really fast, and then I'll be back. So now that we have that together, we're going to go ahead and install the seat frames onto the legs that we put together earlier. And it's really easy to do. We're going to use these 5/16 bolts with the square head at the top, and we're going to go ahead and put those in the back of the legs, which already have a little cutout, well, a little notch where the square part of these carriage bolts go. And you'll see, well, when you put it together, how the bolts fit inside that little square notched area. And then we're going to go ahead and just put it into these corresponding holes on here, and go ahead and tighten those up. Just want to make sure it kind of lines up good to get those bolts in, but they do fit in. And then we'll go ahead and put the washer and nut on there, and we'll go ahead and tighten those up, and then we'll go ahead and do the other side after this. I can get that screw on there, that nut, and there it is. So we'll go ahead and tighten those up, and then I'll do the other side, and I'll be right back. This is what the chair should look like now. So now that we have the legs attached to the seat frame, we're going to go ahead and install the right armrest. We're just going to do the right one for now, because after we install this right one, we're going to go ahead and put the backrest on, and it'll make sense as to why we're just doing one for now. So I'm going to go ahead and put this in. This has a little block right here that fits right inside this little L section, and again, it's pre-drilled, and it's got holes for the screws to go in. Just going to put that on top of that, and we're going to put in a couple of screws right there. And again, I'm using the drill, but just keep in mind that a drill is very helpful and makes things go a lot quicker. But if you're just not familiar with how to use them, and you kind of got an itchy trigger finger, just use a screwdriver, because you can do a lot of damage and strip these screws out if you're over anxious with these drills. So anyways, there's that one. I'm going to go ahead and get the leaf ready, or the backrest leaf, and I'll get that on here and show you how that fits. So now we're going to put the backrest on, and as you'll see, there's two little tabs right down here on the bottom, right there and right here. Those tabs go inside the frame, and so we're going to put those right inside the frame, and the bottom of this backrest is going to rest right up against this rear seat slat that we put in, and it'll stop it from, you'll know that it'll stop it from moving or from sliding back. And then we put this back of this armrest right into this little notch area that we have right here, and it fits perfectly in there. And then we'll go ahead and we're going to put screws that are pre-drilled again, and they're going to go right into the pre-drilled holes that we have. If I can make it in there. And so again, the drill, very careful with the drill. Once you have that screwed in there, and this armrest is secure, the backrest is secure, and it's not gonna fall or go anywhere. I'm gonna go ahead and put the other screw in while I'm here. And then the next thing we're gonna do while we're here is we have two screws that go into the bottom of the backrest right down here. I'm going to show you, I'm going to take a video of that, and I'll show you exactly where these screws go, because I know you can't see them from this angle. Anyways, we're going to go ahead and we're going to put those in. So now that we have the backrest in place and the bottom screws into the bottom of the backrest, we're going to go ahead and put that number 6 seat slat back in. And that was the whole reason that we left it out, was because we needed to get to those screws in the very bottom of the backrest. And so once we have those screws in, we can go ahead and put this seat slat back in. And then after that, we'll actually go ahead and do the number 2 seat slat and the number 1 seat slat that goes across the face right there. And I'm going to go ahead and put that stuff together, and I'll be right back. All right, so now we're coming to the end of finishing up the chair. Your chair should look like this, and the final thing to do here is to put the front apron on the chair. You'll see there's 2 holes in the front apron, and there's 2 pre-drilled holes on each side of the chair here. And again, it is very important that the screws go into the existing holes. Everything was made to line up perfectly with these pre-drilled holes. So if you have any problems after you're finished, or if anything doesn't look like it's lined up, I would suggest going back and looking at wherever your issue is at to make sure that you installed any of the flathead screws, that they're all in the pre-existing holes and you didn't make any new holes. That's it. Once this is installed, you're done. And again, they go into those holes, and that's it. You're finished. Here you go. Your chair's all done. Now it's time to relax and enjoy your Cannirondack chair by Rustic Canocti. I hope the video was helpful, and I hope you enjoy your chair. Thanks. Before we get started, I want to let you know that as part of Rustic Canocti's quality control, every chair has been completely assembled and disassembled to check fitting and alignment prior to being shipped. So let's get started on the assembly of the leaf backrest. There are 7 leaves. Working clockwise, each leaf is numbered 1 through 7. Every leaf, with the exception of the center leaf, has a pre-drilled pocket hole. This is where we're going to use pocket screws and the number 2 square bit. I'm going to be using the drill with a number 2 square bit extension. Unless you're experienced using a drill, I wouldn't recommend using one, since it can be very easy to over-tighten the screw. Instead, you can use a multi-bit driver like this. We're going to start with attaching leaf number 3 to leaf number 4, the center leaf. Use the alignment marks to align number 3 to number 4. Then insert a pocket screw into the pocket hole. Use your drill or multi-bit tool to tighten the screw. Be careful not to over-tighten. Once both screws have been tightened, we're going to attach the number 2 leaf to the number 3 leaf using the same method. We will repeat the same process to attach the number 1 leaf to the number 2 leaf. Now that we've done that, repeat the process on the other side, starting by attaching leaf 5 to leaf 4, and continue until all the leaves are attached. Remember to use the alignment marks as you build your leaf backrest. So now that we have the leaf backrest put together, we're going to go ahead and put the leaf brace onto the back of the leaf backrest. It is marked with the leaf brace sticker on it. What we're going to do is we're going to use the 1 1/4 inch stainless steel screws, and we're going to screw them in to the top and bottom hole on the leaf brace. And we're going to go ahead and screw those in so that they go through the brace itself and the screws stick out through the bottom. And the reason we're doing that is so that we can go ahead and line them up with leaf number 4. There's a hole at the top of leaf number 4 and a screw hole at the bottom of leaf number 4. We're just going to go ahead and put these screws into those pre-drilled holes, and that's going to make our alignment of the leaf brace align up perfectly so that all of the other screws fit perfectly in their holes. I'm going to go ahead and use the T20 bit to go ahead and screw these, the Torx head bit to screw these in. Once I get these screwed in, I'll go ahead and install the rest of the screws. Also, there is 11 places where these Torx head screws go. All of the holes have countersunk holes for the screws to go into. That means the heads of the screws will sink a little bit beyond the surface of the wood. There's one extra hole left in the middle of the brace, and you might wonder what that's for, but a screw doesn't go in that. That'll actually be for the next brace that we put on, so don't worry about that extra hole in the middle of the brace. For now, let's just screw in the remainder of the 1 1/4 inch Torx head screws. So now that we have the leaf brace installed, we're going to go ahead and install the arm brace. The arm brace is this piece. It's got an angle cut on it with a cutout in the middle, and it's marked with a sticker on the back that says arm brace and has 3 holes in it. The angled part of the brace is going to go up against the back side of the leaf backrest, and the cutout part is going to go around the shaft part of the leaf brace, and it fits on there perfectly. What we're going to do is we're going to use the 2.5 inch gold screws with the Torx heads on them, and we're going to screw those through until they come out the other side. And again, we're doing this so that we can align the piece with the holes, just as we did with the leaf brace before, when we screwed the holes all the way through, or put the screws all the way through the wood prior to screwing in the rest of the screws. So we have the screw coming through. We're going to make sure that that lines up with the holes that are in the 3 holes that are going across the back right here. And once we get those two screws lined up, then we know that the other screw will be lined up perfectly. So I have these lined up. I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to use the T25 bit to screw these in. And again, I'm using the drill, but if you're really not confident with the drill, I suggest that you use the multi-bit driver. And once we have those 2 screwed in into their existing holes, then we know that this 3rd screw is going to automatically be lined up to the hole it goes into. And there you go. Now that we have this beautiful leaf assembled, let's go ahead and put together the rest of the chair.